Welcome everybody, I am the SNES Geek and welcome back to another video. So yes, this time I only have my mic and I'm doing this in one take. Yes, for the very first time in a while I actually am improvising this entire video. That sounds crazy, right? How is it going to go? Well, because I actually do feel quite comfortable with this. I have captured footage for the game review in question and I have played a game loads of times. But of course, if you are interested, then check out what I have in store on this very channel. Alright, so I will actually be making this review to actually celebrate something. Yes, this will be an anniversary. What is that anniversary exactly? Well, it is an anniversary based on my favorite film of all time, Toy Story 2. It just does everything right in my opinion. It has great pacing, the characters are great, the soundtrack is amazing, and the scene when Woody gets cleaned by that guy, a chef's kiss, perfect. It was actually a video that I got back when I was a kid on VHS, and I've been watching this ever since. Fun fact, the VHS copy that I have actually have a Swedish translation where the text and the font in the film is actually translated to Swedish. For instance, there's a scene in that film when there is a door and there's a sign on the door that says "No children allowed." In the Swedish VHS that I have, it says "Barnförbjudet," which is undoubtedly a pretty cool detail. No other releases of that film in Swedish actually have changed the text and the font that way, or at least that's what I think. So yes, I will be celebrating the 25th anniversary of Toy Story 2 by talking about Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue for the Sony PlayStation. Released, well, that it that you see on the screen right here. So this was a pretty big release. This didn't just got a release on PlayStation, it got a release on the Game Boy Color, on the PC, on PS1, and the Sega Dreamcast. Yes, even the Sega Dreamcast got a version of this. Of course, it was a time when the Sega Dreamcast was still in production. So congratulations, Sega players! You can play Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. So the first time I got this game, it wasn't actually for the PlayStation. It was actually for PC. I bought it back online when because I recognized the film and yeah, it was because I played it at a friend's house at some point. I got it and I played it a lot. But sadly, that's when I played a lot that led to its demise. So I have recently gained my own gaming computer, or rather my first personal computer for my birthday. And so I was extremely excited, I was really happy. I could now play games and watch YouTube as much as I wanted. And that is something I indeed did. And I played games as well, especially a lot of Minecraft. But one summer day, I decided to actually turn on my PC and I was going to install this very game. Sadly, something went wrong. My computer crashed afterwards, and after a little while later, I had to get the replacement. So yes, it wasn't actually that fun to actually experience it in real time. Sure, it does sound pretty funny when you hear it. But on the execution, yeah, well, that's not really that fun. Let's not get into more of that. So, back in 2015, back when I was browsing a game store, when I was out on my usual trips, I actually found a copy of this very game and I paid for it. Then I got home. And that's the version I've been playing ever since. So, as you can see, this is an action platformer which is based around getting from Andy's house to the final boss. And you obviously do that by platforming at different locations from the movie. We got Andy's bedroom, we got Al's Spaceland, Al's Toy Barn, Al's Penthouse, and then ending with the final boss. So yes, these are basically restricted areas that you are going around in. You are controlling Buzz Lightyear with the control stick, as well as use all of the different action buttons to perform different actions. X button makes you jump, the square button makes you shoot your laser, the circle button makes you spin, and the Y button, I think it's the triangle button which allows you to go into a first-person mode, or the LR triggers. I don't remember exactly, but it does something, and you with your own mysterious ways can figure that out. Yes, as you can see at this gameplay, this is a pretty bog standard game actually. You are just running around collecting stuff. Now, this is obviously released after Mario 64, so there will obviously be some comparisons with it. Firstly, you are collecting coins. You defeat bosses. You do take part in races. You do multiple tasks at every course with intention of winning. Okay, so there's like 3 specific missions on each and every level, There are 2 others which are special. So the one thing that is common on every level is that you are supposed to collect 50 coins and deliver them to a hand so that you can get a Pizza Planet token. Then there is also the race token. You are supposed to go through some sort of a track. In one of them it's against RC, the other is against... Well, it's basically whatever the situation calls for. Then there is a boss you need to defeat in each and every level to get a token. There are basically more ways than one to actually play through this game. Now, obviously, this is sort of like a cross between Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. Mario 64 because it is a big level. It is many big levels that you're supposed to go through. And then there is the similarities with Crash Bandicoot because you are going through basically a map. Now, obviously, what I mean with that is that in the OG Crash Bandicoot, Crash is traveling on a 3D map, and then in Toy Story 2, Buzz is traveling on a 3D map. So that's the comparison. Now, there's an interesting aspect to this game. And one of them is that you are collecting the tokens in one go. So for instance, you have seen me take this token, and now I can choose to exit the level or keep playing. That is something that wouldn't happen in Mario 64. You would undoubtedly be forced to exit the level and enter the painting again. Of course, there's no such thing as a mission select. You basically have to figure out which missions you have completed, and that's how you go through the game. So this game consists of five boss battles, and these boss battles are this big toy airplane, this sludge monster, we have this big alien being, we have the evil Emperor Zurg, and then we have the final boss at the final showdown. Now, these bosses are kind of off. Do you want to know why? Because at what point did Buzz actually fight against a big fighter jet? At what point did he fight against a giant slime monster? Yeah, do you want to know? It's kind of hard to remember. Because it never freaking happened. They're just there. I guess because to add something to the theme, but couldn't there have been something else? Like, gee, I don't know. How about a killer lawnmower, for instance? Or maybe even... yeah, just some things which has correlation to the movie. And that is also just due to a few of the locations. I mean, why exactly are you going through an alley? Why do you go through a construction yard? Yeah, that's actually logical. For a game, yes, it is. But if you actually think a correlation to the movie, none of this happened at all in the movie. That is a question. Is this a movie license game? Then it's supposed to follow the movie, right? Well, it sort of does, but at the same time it doesn't. Look, they're going through some of the locations seen in the film, and that is good. But I would say as a whole, they don't really go that much into recreating stuff from the movie. As a matter of fact, there are plenty of things which get left out in the movie, which is sort of weird when you think about it. Like I said, the point of this game is to collect tokens to reach the next few levels. But do you want to know something that is kind of weird and not really that nice? Well, that is all of the toys which are tagging along. Because let's be real, the toys in Toy Story 2 don't really do that much. I mean, Buzz could have done all of this himself. But you know, they're there for camaraderie, they're there for friendship. They stay together, and that is a message that Buzz wants to point out. And yeah, they are together and they are doing well. However, if we go to be honest, they have these tokens with them. Why aren't they just giving them to Buzz? Why must Buzz always have to do everything so that the tokens will actually be given out? Why can't they simply say, yeah, you know what, you must beat the Buzz, go ahead and do so. Yes, I understand, it's justifiable because it's a game, but as part of the story, it simply makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense that Mario 64 doesn't have all the stars, you actually have to perform some kind of a task. But you know, if the game was more like Mario 64, then yeah, it would be kind of off. You would have to be forced to restart the level each and every time. So maybe that's just fine. The sound effects and the music is really where the game shines though. I genuinely do really love the soundtrack in this game. I mean, just listen to it. It's amazing. Or how about this? Or how about, yeah, everything. It really does feel like it's a game that's in a world that's really alive. A lot of things simply just pop. A lot of things just happen. You can undoubtedly see across the entire game how there are plenty of times when the environment just feels alive. It feels real. It feels genuine. It feels like a place that somebody has lived in. It's not like, say, Harry Potter, where everything is very fragmented and doesn't actually work towards a final goal in terms of locations or gameplay or whatnot. But this one genuinely does do it really well. And even though I did say these bosses are kind of out there and kind of off within the universe of the game, they are perfectly serviceable for its target audience, which obviously had kids behind it, as if you actually want to sell a product or a game or whatnot, you don't want the audience to think it's too difficult and therefore will therefore be turned off. It's a lot easier to make a cash-in game when the product is new, it's hot, it's relevant. You can experiment when the brand is established. You can actually dare to branch out. But as for this time, well, it's perfectly serviceable. I have absolutely no problems with this game. It's just overall fun to just run around. Sure, it gets a bit strenuous every once in a while, but there's absolutely not a reason to actually put down this game. As a matter of fact, I actually did enjoy my time with the game, although because of reasons I didn't properly finish it. As you can see, I am at the final boss, but because I had such low health and because I died every time, with a pretty interesting sting, as you can hear, I didn't actually finish this game 100%. But maybe you can, and there are especially lots of items for you to collect. There are 5 items on each and every level, and the point of these items is to help you to collect the rest of the tokens. And you have to give Mr. Potato Head a part of his body. And when you do that, you will be getting access to the power-up in question. Now this happens at the beginning of every zone. There are 5 zones with 3 levels in each, 2 standard levels and a boss fight. So that means you can find items at Andy's house, at the construction yard, at Al's toy barn, elevator hop, as well as the second to last level. There's actually a lot of things to like about this game. The graphics are decent for its time, nothing groundbreaking, but nothing that makes you want to put something out with your boot. It doesn't really get too awful or too off at any point. It's just a simple collective fun, and if that is your thing, then this is a game I highly recommend. So yes, that is what I wanted to see for this 25-year celebration. I enjoy Toy Story 2 the game and Toy Story 2 the movie. So next up, you guys, I will see you when it's time for the well, it's time for the next review. It's coming out soon enough. Until then, bye bye!